Hello and good afternoon. This is Phalanyani from Spain. Uh, Again, and still tomorrow we're heading back to Germany, but unfortunately I couldn't convince Maestra Jyotika to join us today because she has other teachings to do later this afternoon. So, but we will go ahead with the question that was open last time. I think it would be best to still wait a few minutes and maybe we just close our eyes for a few minutes and put the attention towards the breath going in and our abdomen moving. Just that. And relaxing. Checking whether everything that should be relaxed is relaxed. Just the breath goes in and out of the body. There's no body breathing. It's just the breath going in and out. Until you finally arrive where you are, at that place in space and now. So there's a very interesting question from Winnie Batukumara, but we have our topic for today. This might be a topic for next time. We did talk about it already several times, but I think it's never, ever too much to talk about meditation. Unless you sit in meditation and know what you're doing, then it's better to just sit and meditate. So we were having the topic for today, caring for dying people. That was a question last week because we had question and answer. And I thought this isn't a question that will be answered in 5 minutes. This is a question that deserves an entire hour or the entire talk. So Winnie, if there is time, we can talk. So hang on, stay tuned, stay with us, but maybe we don't get there because the topic today is caring for dying people. And this is such an important topic that we really should consider what we can actually really do. And there is a lot that we can do, whether that is something that we do for friends and family, or that is because we take on the the work, or maybe free work to care for dying people. So, Tommy, to quickly answer your question, I'm presently not in Germany, I'm in Spain. Tomorrow back to Germany to our Anenja Vihara in Bavaria. You can Google Anenja Vihara. There you find us. So, how would we do that? This is a topic that is in the hands mainly, at least in Germany, it is like that. And I think in many other countries, still so. It is a topic that is mainly in the hands of the church or of some church-related voluntary organizations. Slowly, they are opening up to to the to the other religions and chaplaincy of other religions, and you can even take part in courses for Buddhist chaplaincy. This today will not be a course in chaplaincy, in Buddhist chaplaincy, but I hope that I can give some advice. So when you maybe are with your dying parents or dying family members, or when you are with dying friends, or if you are a volunteer, dying people in a hospice or visiting them at home, there is one thing, the first and foremost, is just be there for them and with them. That is the foremost thing. Just make your heart ready to be there, to really be there, not just running in, running out, but taking your time. What does being there mean for them? Being there for them, that means that you bring time, that you bring interest in that person, that you bring your your ears or your hearing senses and are willing to listen, that you are open-hearted enough and willing to give also. So being there in that moment when there is a dying person, and that can either be that you are with that person during, can be either years, months, weeks, days, or hours. We don't know. Sometimes they can give a hint, the dying people can give a hint. Sometimes when they are in hospital or in a hospice, they do not know. Or in a hospice, I think it's called in English. So you might get a hint from the people working there and visiting them also, or from the doctors. So if you have to deal with a person, with a dying person, care for a dying person in a household or hospice or a hospital, the first thing you check is look around. Are there people related to that person? Are there people who know things about that person? And then question them. Question about what that person likes. Question about that person needs and wants. Question them about whether what belief they have. Some would say, well, they are Buddhist, but maybe they know more because there are traditions in Buddhist religion. And sometimes you deal with Buddhists from the Tibetan tradition who death different maybe than people from another tradition. You know, in a Tibetan tradition, you leave the body there where it is for a certain amount of time. And you will touch it or move it. In the Thai tradition or in the Theravadan tradition, you immediately after the person die, start to wash that person, start to prepare it, because it's not it starts decomposing straight away. So you need to prepare right away. You can't just let that be there and rot. So try to find out as much as possible about the needs of that person dying. You are the one because you care of the family member that knows about what they want and what they need. And then you share with others who come with it. So don't make people who do not have people who are bringing their own beliefs. Don't let them on a deathbed try person of another belief. That could be of great harm for the well-being of the dying person. Also, there's family around, and there are wishes of the people. So if of talking, if they are still capable of communicating, ask them, what do you need? Do you have fear? Are you in pain? And anxiety. And then once you found out these things, you can go straight to dealing with those things, meaning easing their fears, not stirring up more fears. If there are people who want to quarrel with that person, who want to dispute and stir up things, don't let them. The process of dying is something very unique in each and every one. Usually it happens only one. There are few people who have that experience happening more than once to them because they almost died, but were revived or came back for whatever reason. But commonly, in most of the cases, we're dying only once, and our life accumulates in dying. So that is one thing, because that makes the whole thing so important, and that makes the whole thing so such a beautiful spiritual and holy moment, and holy regardless of religion. It's the accumulation of a person's life. It's a moment of transition. It's a moment, of course, where you fear because you don't know, you are uncertain. Some people are certain they are going to go to heaven, other people are going, what do I know, to the Deva realms, other people fear that they might go to the lower realms, hell even. Other people fear so many different things. Some people fear that there is nothing. Other people fear that there is an eternal singing hallelujah on a cloud. So you do not know what's in the mind of the people dying. So if they are capable, try to find out what beliefs do they, what fears do they have, and then listen to them. Just listen to them. That is so important. And don't make a fuss with them. When they're in a hospice or on their deathbed, usually they know, I'm on my deathbed. So that brings us to other things. Back to what you do when you sit there with that person. But now I want to jump to the things that you for yourself can prepare to be prepared for that. So you have to deal with a dying person. And usually this meets people who have fears of dying and of death, who have maybe some beliefs or some ideas what might happen, but maybe not even. Maybe they're just lost in the same way the dying person is. So better prepare yourself. You prepare yourself month, if possible, before you get into that situation. You prepare yourself meditating on death, because you need to understand that you very, very much will have to deal with the very same thing. So you prepare yourself, because a dead person can look scary. If you never saw a dead person, and in the West, we do not have a lot of opportunity to see dead people or dying people. I had the first occasion to see a dead person, like in Thailand, and unprepared. So my father died. I saw him dead, and that was just a body. And they kind of maquillaged him or did some things. So this is not the real thing, you know. This is already made presentable. You might face situations that you would consider not presentable, that you would find disgusting and scary. So remember your own mortality. Remember that you yourself are going one day through the same thing. And for one, think it through. Think it through and meditate through it. Think through it, because I'm not much of a thinker in that sense that we need to think through everything. But this, in this one occasion, I say, think through. What would you need when you die? And maybe even make exercise imagining your body dying. Imagine your body decaying. And having people around you that are upset to lose you, who hold on to you and who don't want you to death. So when we imagine that, we understand that there's a lot of attachment going on. That person who dies is attached to life and doesn't want to die. The person who care for the dying usually love that person who they care for. So they don't want that person to die. So you have to deal with a lot of grief and with a lot of attachment. So think, imagine how to deal with that. When you would lie there on your deathbed and people are talking and crying and don't want to let you go, and you would feel the need to go and you would feel it to go, but they wouldn't let you. So as the dying person, as much as the people that are around, you need to be able to let go, to release the attachment, to understand that maybe the person dying is suffering, is possibly much better for them not to continue living, and that it is not possible to live forever. You can't live forever. So there is certainly a point when you have to let go. And you understand you have to let go. There is no other way than letting go. That moment, it may become easier. to really loosen the grip that you have to this body, and that you loosen the grip as the caring and accompanying person, to loosen the grip and trying to hold on to that person. As the caretaker, need a heart that would be ready to let that person go at any moment without holding on to it. Really, you need to prepare your heart to let the person go. That's really one of the other most important things that you have to do. Next to really just being there, you have to do that. Opening your heart really wide, wide open. So much so that you would be able to just let them go. Because you understand there is suffering in any case. There is suffering when you hold on to them. There is suffering when you let go of them. There is suffering when they need to stay longer in life than it would be good for them. So, once you understand to be let go of this body, this will decay. It is not following your wishes and your wantings. You might get ready to accept that this is really nothing you can do about it. For days or hours, you can prolong a life. But would be helpful. So in the West, bodies are kept alive. The people would want to die already, but they are kept alive because the doctors have to. So ask them when you care for them what you can do so that they can let go. Maybe they have prepared a will or a document that explains in detail what they not want. So deal with that also. You need to know what they want. And you need to be prepared to give that to them. And you need also to be prepared for them to change their mind and to go with them, not to go against them. The dying moment is their precious moment. That occurs only once in a lifetime. And you don't want to ruin that for them. So you prepare yourself and go there without fears. But really, because a dying person knows when you are being anxious yourself, and then to break the ice themselves. So when you meet a dying person for the first time, you need really have that attitude of, well, this is a normal thing to do. dying. And it is not only a normal thing to do, but this is also precious, precious. And this is going to be your being together, helping to understand death a little bit better and to deal with it a little bit better. There are no ways that we can do it for everybody. You know, when you're overcome with fear and anxiety, or there might be changes of mind, there might be so many things that you do not know. So the more often you can be with dying people, the more often you will, the better you will understand how precious this moment really is, and how you give them by being open-hearted, open-minded, going there without fear, going there without feeling shy or looking like a dead or a dying person. But this is a person who lived their lives and who deserve an end in dignity. So, dignity is what you can give them when you feel there is not so much, because there are circumstances, because they have tubes in and out of their body. They have fluids, bodily fluids going in and out of their bodies, and they can't control what they're saying. So they might feel embarrassed in front of you. Ease that pain. In that moment, they need you at ease so that they can be at ease. So never be shy. Maybe you have to, the first couple of times, you have to pull up a little strength. But I think when you're precious that moment, that last moment is, because it's the only time in life that you're doing that in this life. Maybe there have been eons and eons of others who did that already, but that doesn't make it easier for one to die. So, because of that attachment and of all those fears. So, loosening the grip of attachment, just being there, listening. Don't be shy, don't be anxious. These are the main entrance things that you need to take right? So you might, before you enter the room of a dying person, you might take some breaths. So get into the situation, that you feel the ground that you're standing on, that you feel the breath going in and out, which means you are alive. And breathing is one sign there is life. So you breathe. You prepare yourself. You relax your body. You take some deep breath and you remember yourself, you remind yourself, this body is not mine. This is not me. This is not myself. Maybe you do not understand what you are saying, but it needs to get into your heart and into your mind. This is really important. This is not mine. This is not myself. So once you have taken some breaths, around it, you can open the door and look at the person. Maybe there might be a smell. The person is not dead, but it might smell like death already. So and try not to be shaken by that. That's important. Sometimes I just go out of the body. And that might smell. And the closer death comes, the more it smells. So do not go into the room like, oh, something like that. That is horrible for that person because they know they are dying. So you approach them and try to use an icebreaker. Try to say something friendly. Try to use all the love that you have in your heart to shine in that moment, because this is well received. So then you approach the dying person and then you check out, are they conscious? Are they not? Are they sleeping? Are they not? If they sleep, just go in towards them. You might want to take their hand, but you just sit there. If they are awake, you ask them, can I do something for you? Is there something that I can do for you? Questions like, what would you want me to do for you? Can I give you a blessing? Can I give you a chanting? Do you want to listen to a sutra? Can I read a sutta to you? Questions like that. Or do you want to tell me about the nicest thing that occurred in your life? Some people feel desperate on their deathbed because they only remember the bad things, and family only brings up bad memories and so on. So ask them about, tell me about what was the most beautiful moment in your life. What was the most happy moment? What did you do? What nice things have you experienced? Don't let them go to the bad stuff. And if they start with the bad stuff, slowly and softly push them towards the wholesome that they did in their life. Remind them of that. Because the wholesome things, when we remember wholesome things, whether dying or while we are alive, that would bring us good feelings. So it makes things easier. We are at ease when we are reminded of wholesome. So, yes, remind them, try to talk with them about the wholesome things that they did or the happy things that they experienced. And sometimes you need to question more and they don't remember. But in everyone's life, even the most evil person has wholesome things in their life. There is no being in this world that has only evil. We all have moments of everything. So, yes, uh, these are some of the first questions that you can ask. So that was, what can I do for you? Do you have a need now? Can I chanting? Can I hold your hand? Do you want me to recite a sutra or a sutta? Do you want me to recite some paritas? Do you want me to hold your hand? I think I have said already. Do, um, would you like about the good things that you have done in your life? Things like that. That would be what you can do with them. So if you have time with them, most probably they have, if they are really dying already, they will not be attentive for longer than a half an hour. And that would be much. So if you come again and again to see that person and be with it and really accompany that, you can really build up a relationship so that they have something to look forward to to look forward that there is a person coming to be with them, to listen to them and to remind them of their wholesome things. That alone would be already very, very much. But there is more you can do. You have learned a little bit about them. You can also start to meditate with them. And as I said, when you live, you breathe. So when they don't have difficulties to breathe, if they do not have any difficulty to breathe, then it's easy and to let them experience the breath of life while they are still alive, and let them learn to appreciate, maybe for the first time in life, how beautiful breathing can be and how tranquilizing breathing can be. So do some breathing meditation, awareness on the breath. Maybe related with wholesome thoughts. if they have difficulty breathing, when they have heart issues or lung issues or so on, then don't ever do that. Then only focus on some body parts or on an external source like a light or like something that does not distract them from dying, but give them a direction and takes them away from difficulty of breathing. Because some people understand that life is breath and breath is life. So that when they feel I can't breathe, it's going to end. And that would increase their fear. So what else can I give you? I think there are some questions already. So thank you. Do I have the subtitles turned on? I don't even have here. Tsunma Karma Söpa, would you kindly tell me, do I have them turned on? Or is that something that would be missing? Please write in the chat. Then I will learn for next time how to turn them on. So then there is another question. Was Ayya ever with Bhikkhu Yuttadhammo? Sounds very familiar. Yes, I have been in some of the videos with him. We have the same teachers, Ajahn Tong. My main teacher then was Ajahn Supan from Wat Lampung. But I have visited Yuttadhammo in Sri Lanka, and there we did some recordings together. And I was in Sri Lanka, I think about 5 months. And he was actually the first monk who introduced me to the method meditation of Ajahn Tong, which I presently still practice. So yes, we're not in contact presently, so there's nothing evil or that I don't want, but we're just not much in contact. So I think this info is priceless and beautiful. Good to know. I appreciate it so much. I've been trying to prepare to let go for years with parents and really everyone. 3 kitties this year to old age 20. Then it continues. I think sometimes I understand it all, and sometimes I feel like a child. This info will help me to be strong and soft when needed. Yes, exactly. I didn't use these words to be soft and strong, but this is exactly what you need to do. To have a firm mind, but a very, very soft and open heart. And to feel like is no bad thing. We shouldn't pretend to be better than we are. Be honest with yourself. And sometimes we are like children, and sometimes things do overwhelm us. So that is why preparation in meditation on, as the Buddha teaches it, is very helpful. So I gave you some little hints on that, But I was speaking more about how you really behave to the person who is dying. But there is, of course, all sorts of meditation that you could do to overcome the the self. And if you don't overcome self, don't blame you for that. It's a thing that would make you a holy person, you know? So, um, is just be honest with what is, be in the present moment. There's another question. No, this is just, yes, I was for years in Thailand, so, and my teachers are from Thailand, right? Dear Ayya, how does metta practice when faced with one's own death? Protect one. I'm not too sure how it does protect one, or whether it really would protect one. Remember that Sariputta was Buddha when Sariputta led one of his dying supporters just to the Deva realm by loving kindness and by focusing on loving kindness and the metta practice. And that's a practice that could lead to parinibbana. But the Buddha scolded Sariputta that he did not lead that person to the final. So if there is any chance for you when you are dying that you could go to parinibbana, so out of it already, then you would do that. Otherwise, the metta practice is something that could prevent that we go to the lower realms, even though we have some very bad things we did, some very bad things. But metta practice would not be the only thing that would protect us from going to the lower realms. But that is one quite safe thing to practice. But you know, when you are dying and you are angry and unprepared for dying, and you don't have a stable metta practice, so you really experience the loving kindness within you, then it doesn't help and it doesn't protect you. Then you need another practice, maybe more. Sunma Karma Serpa, would you kindly elaborate what I should extend the time to next? No, from last week. Not too sure. I understand your comment. Anyways, so the Buddha said about metta practice that it can make us fully enlightened, can become enlightened and experience the Cheto Vimutti, so the liberation of the heart by metta practice. So, but you need to have a really stable metta practice. Usually, what is done in the West with may I be happy, may I be happy, may this one be happy, may that one be happy, is not enough. Any wholesome thing that you do during your lifetime, anything wholesome any wholesome act in body, speech, and mind. So whether you have wholesome thoughts for the well-being of whether you have you say wholesome words, and whether you say or perform wholesome acts, that throughout your life, that is really so. Mindfulness on being in the present moment, that what you do is wholesome, that could bring you to safety, say, to at least not going to any lower realm. Please, could you extend this topic to the other class? I've almost died 3 times, and the last one I wanted meditate metta for me. Is that correct? I am sorry to hear that you died almost 3 times, and I do hope that this is not because of an illness that you have. And if so, I would send you so many blessings and so many well wishes that your time to prepare for when it comes really to get you, when there is really that moment, that you would be prepared to have metta. So we can talk about what to meditate or how to meditate to prepare yourself for death next week. I can promise. I'm I'm sending you a big. So yes, we can talk about what kind of meditation can we do to prepare ourselves for dying, for our death, and for the death of other people. Is that okay? I think that's a deal. I think time for today is almost over. I'm so glad that the internet was stable, because this morning it was terrible. It went on and off. So blessings to everyone. May you be all well, and maybe see each other again next week on Wednesday at 2:00 German or European time. Happy and healthy and alive. So, bye everyone.